What is up, college baseball fans? Welcome to another episode of the 11.7 podcast, weekend number 8 preview. We will also be doing the midweek recap, and we're going to scroll through some, we'll talk about some players who are shining and some teams that maybe have some statistics that we're hopeful about or not so hopeful about. Pretty much a free-for-all episode. We got a full crew here, Noah, Jack, Dimitri, and myself. I'll tell you guys this. The thing I'm most excited about is this weekend. I think this weekend is a very important weekend for a lot of teams. I almost forgot our advertiser. It's not on the screen right now, but Home Field Apparel, 15% off using promo code CWS25. You guys check them out. They're about to launch a ton of new stuff for college baseball, and I think Jack and I have a meeting with them shortly, maybe early next week sometime. We can give you some more details then, but just Home Field Apparel, check them out. Follow them on all social medias. They're great. But so, anyways, going back to my point, and Noah, you can come back out now. You can come back out of the bullpen. I just needed to see my my reference point there for the promo code.
Is Noah out of the bullpen today?
Hell yeah!
I can go in the bullpen.
I think it's Johnny. I think it's Johnny Holstaff day.
It is a Johnny Holstaff type of day.
Johnny Holstaff, baby.
The structure of the show today. I haven't put too much thought or effort into it because I wanted this to be a free-for-all. The weekend excites me a lot. The midweek was good. It wasn't great. We were in dangerous territory of ranked teams going 22 out of 22 in wins. Thank God that UAB comes through, and then UTSA comes through as well. There was a few teams that were pretty close. Jacksonville played Florida State tough, and Western Kentucky played Vanderbilt tough. I was expecting to see a lot more fireworks. So does anybody want to start with anything they noticed during the midweek?
What about Texas State?
Yeah, I think you got them backwards. UTSA ended up losing, getting walked off by TCU. But Texas State.
I meant Texas State, not UTSA.
Tomato. They both love to upset the big dogs. The Robert Cats is a phenomenal nickname. The Robert Cats are monsters in the midweeks. If we're going to claim that Liberty every single week upsets an ACC team, then the Robert Cats and Texas State Bobcats, they get it done against those big dogs out in Texas. They were really good.
I hate that name.
Love it.
I hate it. He's been using it for 4 years. That and the cinnamon roll drive me crazy. I think they're so stupid.
Yeah, good. Everyone else thinks it's funny. Big fan.
If I'm making Dimitri mad, you know I'm doing something right. So
Probably.
The public loves me. Let's talk about Texas State briefly. I think it's a team that's very talented, but record-wise and on paper have not been good so far. But they're a team that I think the SunBelt really needs to take a step up these next 3 or 4 weeks just to help the conference RPI. You look at the SunBelt right now, it's a 3-bid league. Dimitri has some thoughts on Southern Miss potentially being in trouble, and I think that's where our first argument is going to be of the day. But and it has to go back to RPI, which we'll talk about here in a second. But the SunBelt really needs that fourth team to step up, whether it's Georgia Southern or Louisiana Lafayette, Texas State, somebody where they can hang their hat on, hey, we deserve 3 at-large bids, or we deserve 4 bids into the league or into the tournament. So do we think Texas State has what it takes to go on a run here pretty soon? No? Nobody?
I do. I didn't know if you guys were going to go back and forth there. I think they've got enough firepower at the plate. Offensively, they've been really good in years past. Last year, they upset the likes of A&M and Texas in the midweek, but it was pitching on the weekends, especially in the SunBelt, where it felt like they were really competitive on Friday nights, but Saturday, Sunday they struggled. I think it's a little bit of a similar song it is, but offensively, I don't doubt them for a second. My only fear is that the SunBelt, like we've talked about with the SEC, has been a little bit cannibalistic in that it's super top heavy right now. So, if you can run You run the ranks in the SunBelt and don't get swept all year, you got a fighting chance to be at the top half of that conference and make a good run down in Montgomery. But yeah, I think they got enough firepower. I believe in Coach Trout and his staff.
I mean, they have wins in the midweek against Texas A&M and Texas this year. I think that this weekend series in Lafayette is going to basically decide who's more of a contender, Louisiana or Texas State. And look, everything's right in front of Texas State. You get 3 at Louisiana, you host Southern Miss, at South Al, and then at Troy. Those next 4 weekends, if you can just put some wins together, you put yourself right back in the conversation. So, but I think the reason why I appetized Texas State is because the SunBelt does have a glaring RPI issue as of April 2nd. Right now, as of Wednesday, April 2nd, Southern Miss is in first place in the SunBelt with a 54 RPI. Coastal Carolina has a 5 RPI, and them and Troy are tied with Louisiana for second. Troy is at 20. Louisiana's at 77. And yeah, sure, your RPI can get better from this point forward, but it's a little tougher than to make those drastic jumps in the RPI like you can early in the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you want me to take it from here?
Yeah, I've been trying to lead this up to you here.
Yeah.
So I think Southern Miss right now is 100% a tournament team. But when it comes to trying to kind of foreshadow or project where their season's going to go, even if, I mean, like their preseason non-conference, Lafayette 256, Louisiana Tech 151, TCU 26, UNC Wilmington 106. Wilmington is a massive disappointment. That should have been a marquee series win for Southern Miss, and it's just not right now. Wilmington looks like dog shit right now, and that's just the way it is. They look terrible. I think they're a good team. They're just not playing well. So anyway, that hurts Southern Miss. Looking at their future, Marshall 179, Texas State 109, Georgia State 160, App State 190, Arkansas State 245, Louisiana 77, Troy 20. Not a ton of RPI boosting weekends left to them. So what I'm trying to say is they're not out, but they're not all the way in. And I think what it comes down, they just don't have that much room for error the rest of the season. SunBelt tournament, they're going to have to probably make a run in it like they always have to, like they do anyway. But it's one of those things to keep an eye on. It's not like panic button yet, but it's like, ooh, this is interesting kind of thing.
Now,
panic button for a team who has not lost a weekend series yet
all year. They're coming back after you. They're coming back after you, Rizcon. You started the conversation strong with they're 100% in. They're 100% a tournament team. But then you backtrack, and then you give great factoids. I'm just telling you, the Eags are coming back after you after this clip. I'm just telling you.
No, it's not. They can't come after me. It's a factual. No, they can't because it's a factual in front of me. If they're not top 50 RPI, they're not getting in. No non-Power 4 team will ever get in.
I will tell you why they will, and it's because they have a member. Their AD is on the committee. They will get in with a 60 RPI if they win every weekend.
No, they won't. They're non-Power 4 team. Anything higher than 50, they're not in.
Their AD is on the committee.
Good for him. Good for him. You're not top 50. You're not getting in. It's a point-blank factual statement.
If they win every weekend series and they get bounced.
Good for them. Campbell won 48 games, didn't get in. It's just the way of life.
All a hypothetical, but I'll play point guard and kick it.
How is that a hypothetical? Campbell won 48 games, didn't get in.
I'll kick it to my wing 3 shooting guard in Ben Upton, who's absolutely spot on here. It is all hypothetical, so there's no point in even arguing it. All you're doing is giving ammunition to Eagle Nation.
It's not a hypothetical, dude. It's not a hypothetical. That's what I'm trying to understand why you don't understand that.
It's not hypothetical.
How is it hypothetical when we're literally looking at the numbers in front of us?
Because we're not at the end of the year yet.
Because we don't know the final numbers. That's what makes this a hypothetical.
Right. I'm saying it's not panic button. But if holy shit, this could be cut it close kind of thing. That's what it is. That's what I said it was. As of right now, they're in, but they have not much room for error. They could miss, is what I'm saying.
They ain't missing.
Yeah, I was attempting
I
to
don't
pull
think
up.
they're missing. I don't think they're missing, but if they're not top 50, they are going to miss.
I was attempting to pull up Boyd's World because I love their RPI needs and like how many wins each team needs to reach a certain threshold in the RPI. I was looking at it earlier this year for Hawaii for what it's worth, but for some reason I can't crack it. I don't know what's going on over on that website. So shout out to Warren Nolan. We got to go to the trusty predicted RPI.
Mhm.
We've got 3 teams from the SunBelt in the top 35 predicted RPI for the end of the year. Southern Miss is 33rd, Troy is 30th, and Coastal Carolina is 12th. So if Coastal Carolina is 12th in the RPI at the end of the year with do they have representation on the committee anymore?
They sure do. Yep.
Are they hosting?
No, you know what?
They should
I
I
have it
think
written
he's
down.
done because the chairman, they're usually in their final year or final 2 years.
They should host. I will say this while Ben looks that up. They should host. Did you guys see what they did to Campbell yesterday? Just boat race,
State
bro.
over the weekend.
Like
Yeah.
Coastal.
Carolina is a monster, fellas.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
We said
mean-
it. I said it early on. The idea that we didn't know about their offense because it was going to be different. This is a better all-around baseball team. Like
Yeah.
2 years ago, you look at a weird upset, or they probably get Duke in that Monday regional at home, right? Packed out crowd at the Palace. This team's better than that team because their arms are significantly better, in my opinion. Like they have projectable draft guys and guys like Cameron Flukie. They've got elite stuff and a guy in McKay. But like Riley Eichhoff and Jacob Morrison, who throw on Tuesdays and Sundays for him, like they've just got such insane pitch ability that like they have enough arms to win a regional. And it's why I'm super stoked that I took them to get to Omaha because it feels like a really fun dark horse mid-major team where if you look at their arms and you go, oh, that makes sense. So to answer your question, as Ben gets ready to rifle off the RPI stuff and the committee chairs, that team has got enough arms to, without not even question, to host a regional, but to win one too.
Real quick, I want to quote tweet what Jack just said too. Shout out to our guy Quiggs. He tweeted this out.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina starting pitchers in their last 5 games, 30.2 innings, just 3 earned runs, only 2 walks, 31 strikeouts in those 30.2 innings. Those last 5 opponents, number 2 Clemson, who only scored 2 runs against the Shots, 0 runs against Texas State, 1 run against the Bobcats, 3 runs against the Bobcats, and then 1 run against Campbell.
Which
It's
I'd like to,
impressive.
and I'd like to say this too. The more that Coastal wins, right? Like if you're a mid-major baseball fan, you're listening to this, you love like the Fun Belt. But the more that Coastal wins, the more that they continue to put on for that conference, the better I think Troy sits too. Right. Like I think that they like Skylar Meade and Brooks Bryan and Shane Lewis, like those guys enjoy being the hunter instead of the hunted. Coastal's used to being like the target on their back. Like they're cool playing from out in front, which so like loop this whole conversation back together. You're looking at 2 potential teams inside the top 15 in the SunBelt. That's only going to help Southern Miss no matter what the hell happens with their RPI, right? Like you get 2 teams in the top 15. Like I don't give a damn what the bottom of that conference does. Like you're looking at it going, these are 3 top 25 teams. Like, not only are they not making the damn thing, but we get 2 host sites in the Sun. Someone dream with me. Someone dream with me. 2 of them.
I mean, the only way that's going to happen is if Troy does something crazy because Southern Miss didn't get scheduled Coastal this year, which hurt. They want them every year. They need them every year. It helps them. It doesn't hurt them. So I mean, it's just one of those things. They didn't get Georgia Southern either, which is always usually a good RPI weekend. But hey, back to what Noah said, Coastal pitching staff, the biggest number is this, 2 walks.
Yeah.
That is massive for them. They
So
could never
different
do
than
that
what
a
we're
year.
used to seeing.
They could never do that a year ago. They would walk 2 people per inning.
Yeah.
So-
2 points I want to make. One, don't forget Troy beat Coastal 2 out of 3 in a weekend series. That definitely favors Troy in the long run. And then the committee members. So it's Southern Miss, Jacksonville State, Kent State, Portland, Southeastern Louisiana, Indiana, East Carolina, Florida State, Kansas State, and Florida. So I want to mention something. Southeastern Louisiana has a committee member this year. The Southland is looking more and more like potentially a two-bid league, and it's because they did so well non-conference. That helps the conference RPI, and I could see Southeastern Louisiana's AD sticking up and saying, "Hey, listen, the bottom of our conference is not very good, but our top teams between ourselves in Southeastern Louisiana, UTRGV, Lamar, McNeese, like these type of teams can go and win a regional potentially. Last year, Nicholls State was a 3 seed, and they played well in the regionals. This isn't some bottom of the barrel conference where like it doesn't matter who you throw in there as a 4 seed, they're going to get dominated. I'm starting to look more and more at the Southland being a multi-bid league. And Dimitri, you agree with me because you sent over your field of 64 to me today, and you had McNeese and UTRGV both in. So explain that because I also had in my field of 64 two Southland teams, but it was UTRGV and Lamar, I believe. I'm still a big believer in Lamar.
I think the reason why is because McNeese, well, UTRGV played a great non-conference schedule. McNeese, it's more so one of those things where McNeese to win. This is us talking as of today. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 7 weeks? As of today, UTRGV is a stronger at large bid, and McNeese needs to win the AQ. That's how you get 2 bids in that conference. But I think McNeese has a lot in front of them. I mean, they've got midweek against LSU. They've got UTRGV weekend series, and then they actually don't have that much in front of them. New Orleans,
Well, I'll tell you,
their
I'm gonna save you
RPI is going to
here.
drop a lot. But as of right now, I think they're possible.
I'm going to save you here because I want to bring this to everybody, everybody's attention. The Southland does it right when it comes to the conference tournament for this year. And I think you're going to see this trend happen with a lot of the mid-major conferences, especially the SoCon and maybe the ASUN and a few others. I think they're all going to adopt this new conference
It
tournament
is a cool
structure
tournament. I
that
like
the
it.
Southland is doing for the first time this year. 8 teams make it. Top 8 teams make the conference tournament. It's two brackets of 4 teams, structured exactly like a regional. So double elimination, 1 versus 4, or 1 versus 8, 4 versus 5, and then 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, and then double elimination. The next weekend, it's a super regional format. So if the 1 seed and the 2 seed play or both win their brackets the week before in the conference tournament, they go play a 3-game series super regional style. And that way you get your best arms back out there to compete rather than whose number 7 starter can win them a conference championship game. So I love this new format. It's going to help the conference RPI as well, just having those top 8 teams in it, because those games count too towards your RPI. So you can eliminate teams 9 through 12 and just be like, those 200 plus RPI teams are just not going to participate.
I
And
also love how this format really battle tests the team that is going to be representing your conference. Because a lot of times, if you're going 8-team double elimination or 8-team single elimination in these tournaments, you don't get put in that position of, oh, we have to play 5 games in 3 days, 5 games in 4 days.
Mhm.
Like now the coaches are going to be prepped to win that pool, 1, and 2, have to rebound and win a weekend series the next time if they do get out of that pool in the first place. Because then you're like, okay, now we got a 3-game series against so and so out of the ACC, out of the SEC, out of the Big 12, out of the Big 10. Like the experience, the battle, how they're going to be battle tested going into that. And you take a 16-team single elimination tournament that the SEC is going to play, and you got some first-year head coaches in that conference this year. I would really like some of these 3 seeds, 4 seeds to, make a run out of a Southland conference that has this format compared to a conference that does not.
Dude, to your point, think about Wofford last year, the 3 seed in that Chapel Hill regional. They were handed the exact same roll of the dice as you mentioned, because I believe they played exactly 5 games in 3 days in the Southern Conference because they were like the 6th seed and ended up winning it. they don't end up getting to throw Zach Cohen, who's now obviously in Baton Rouge, and it kind of hindered him. They had to use him against Long Island, who was a total wagon last year to beat them and advance into that next game. But that was insane. To your point, that's really badass, Ben. I like that setup a lot.
And
It's the
that's
best.
why
It's the best conference tournament format I've seen.
Love that.
the Big West had the same thing. It's top 4 team, your 5 and 6 do a play-in game.
Love that.
Your top 3 team, or
So that's
top
not
4
the same thing.
Yeah.
What is it? Wait, Ben, I told you that there was top 3
So
teams.
the one other conference that I do know off the top of my head that does something very, very similar is the ASUN. So
Yeah.
they have 2 pools of 4. That is like the first round of the NCAA tournament. But the first pool of 4 is your top 4 teams in the conference, and they eliminate the one team that finishes in 4th. So whether it's 0-3 or 1-2 via tiebreakers, they're gone. But the other 3 teams, because they were so good during the regular season, they earn the ability to then go back at it again. I think it's just a one and done the following weekend, just the top or the remaining 4 teams, because then the winner of the bottom 4 pool jumps up into the top 4 in the semifinals, and then they go single elimination.
There
to
are
wrap it
3
up.
guarantees. I'm gonna build off this, Noah. There's 3 guarantees that will always go viral on college baseball Twitter. 1, the App State photo of their field aerial. 2, BYU's mountains. And 3, the ASUN conference tournament. Once you just post those rules, it just goes viral. People think it's the craziest thing they've ever seen. It's similar to the SunBelt basketball tournament this year, where people can't comprehend how crazy it is. So yeah,
I
those
love it.
a little social media 101 for any college baseball people out there. You post those 3 things, guaranteed to go viral every time.
So yeah, Ben, the Big West tournament is top 3 seeds, and then the 4 and the 5 do a play-in game. Then it turns into a regional format, double elimination. So you're going to get, it's going to be one of the most electric tournaments. You're going to get Irvine. You're going to get, hopefully, Santa Barbara gets in the top 4 or top 5, whatever. Probably will. But Irvine, Cal Poly, Santa Barbara, Hawaii, and whoever that 5th team is going to be an electric tournament, because all 4 of those teams have a shot to win it. I mean,
I hope it's Fullerton because it's hosted at Fullerton. I love when the host team is there.
yeah. So
That's good for hypothetical investments too.
Get rid of your bottom barrel feeding team out of the conference tournament and make it good for the team. Reward the team that played well all year, and you get a little RPI boost going into a selection show Monday.
I agree.
If you're a bubble team. So Southern Miss, hey, like I said, Southern Miss. The last thing I'm going to say about it is they get in their tournament. Their RPI can shoot up 20 points that final weekend. We've seen it. It happens every year. They can be 55-60. They make a semifinal championship game. They beat Coastal and win it. Their RPI shoots up 20 spots and they're in. So
yeah, going back to our trusty Warren Nolan predicted RPI, the SunBelt only had 3 teams in the top 50. They had Georgia Southern sitting at 60 was their 4th team. On this refresh or whatever that I got of Warren Nolan, 5 Southland teams top 55 in predicted RPI. You have Rio Grande at 19. You have Lamar at 36. Southeastern Louisiana at 54. McNeese at 55. Just 4. Sorry, not 5. But yeah, they got more than the SunBelt.
I will say this about the Warren Nolan predicted RPI. It's a little whack.
Oh, it
There's
is.
some teams that I'm just like, that shit ain't fucking happening. But it is a good tool to use within reason. You just can't abuse it. For anyone that wants to go in there and do their own little rabbit hole digging after you listen to the show, I recommend go look at it. It's fun. You'll spend an hour of your life just looking at it. Don't take everything point blank.
You want the most fun result here from this one? Danny Hall in his final year at Georgia Tech, 6th.
Dude, I saw what Georgia Tech did to Mercer last night, and oh my God, that team is very good. It's very similar to Coastal. Georgia Tech's pitching is better this year. It's like on the same scale as Coastal Carolina's pitching is better this year.
You want to talk about
and we always said if Georgia Tech could pitch, they would be a College World Series caliber team.
You want to talk about Southern Miss? I mean, Georgia Tech's got the same scenario this year, right? Coach Barry retiring. They made a run to the Super Regional.
Mike Martin.
Yeah.
But
Pulmonary?
hey, I want to talk about
pulmonary at LSU, supers.
I want to say something. Jalen Payton is the biggest X factor. Like I watched that guy pitch his whole outing against Clemson. He was electric. He was
He's not even the
unhittable.
best reliever on the team.
Dude, I know, but I think he's their biggest X factor though. That guy because he normally he's been their closer most of the year. I'm pretty sure. He came in the fourth inning of that game or third inning of that game against Clemson. Got 4 innings, took him to the late in the game, and I mean I was like that guy's their X factor, I think. But speaking of Danny Hall, that guy was supposed to retire 10 years ago. He said he was going to retire after his 2 sons, Colin and Carter, were going to move on. He ended up staying. That guy had been there since 1992, the year I was born, which blows my mind.
Golly.
Blows my mind that he's been there that long. I've known him my whole life, so I wish him the best. And I think Georgia Tech got a little bit of magic this year.
You want to do a quick segment on who's Georgia Tech's new coach or next coach going to be?
James Ramsey.
Who?
James Ramsey's already pretty much the head coach in waiting.
Nah, they mix
We don't want to make it a little bit more fun. No offense to Coach Ramsey, but just speculate on some names.
Well, we knew it was Coach.
Well, I mean, it's already.
I respect Steve for just rattling that off immediately.
He pretty much runs that team now, anyways. James Ramsey pretty much the head coach of that team right now.
All right. Well, we knew Coach Pierce was going to be the Rice coach, yet we still rattled off 8 to 9 names. Can we just play the game?
Brian Sicker steps down from the Braves and takes over Georgia Tech.
I mean, dude.
I feel like we got to throw Ben Upton into the mix again.
I'll happily throw my name in the mix.
How about this one? Let's go Jason Veritek. Let's get the backstop back.
Well, isn't Matt Wieters on staff? He was on staff last year.
No,
that was Matt Wieters, wasn't it?
Yeah,
not Veritek.
Wieters and Veritek but Veritek is still coaching with the Red Sox.
Yeah,
Veritek was not on Georgia Tech staff last year.
No.
Wieters
last year, no. Who said that?
Wieters was not either. We were there. We saw them. We did not see them. I mean,
really?
Veritek was not a Tech, and Matt Wieters was not a Tech.
I know he was finishing up his grad
fall.
program.
He was in the fall of last year to get his degree. He was helping the team out, but I don't know about during the season.
Okay.
I feel like I wouldn't know about this. I'm pretty sure they were not in the dugout during the spring.
I can convince myself that Tony Vitello is going to Georgia Tech. Big city, Atlanta,
Ben,
lot to do.
Give me one splash name you would love at Georgia Tech just for no reason.
For no reason?
You just can picture him at Georgia Tech.
I mean, I have a name that I think would be really cool.
That's what I'm literally asking you to say.
Go around. Everybody gets one guess.
Okay. Oh, with what you're gonna say or what I would?
Yeah, what I'm gonna say. I think one of you will hit it right on the head.
Well, my name, I'm just going to stick with Matt Wieters. He was a coach on the staff for 2022-23, and then he was done.
No, you got to go. You got to get a little deeper in your bag, man.
All right. Okay, so one guess of who you would love at Georgia Tech, Ben?
Yeah.
I think like
do we get a clue? Like one clue? Like is he a head coach somewhere else right now?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, I think I might know where Ben's actually going with this. Hold on.
Pat Hallmark.
No.
I think he's a Texas guy forever.
How about Mike Lavin? Brother knows the city well.
No.
Does the guy that you're thinking of, Ben, just for funsies, does he have a son that currently plays for the Yellow Jackets?
No, I don't think so. Who is that?
I was thinking of Drew Burse's dad, Andy Burse.
Oh, like the 5-star guy?
Yeah.
He runs 5-star whatever.
Yeah.
No, that would be crazy.
Chain. They used to be Chain. Yeah, 5-star, 5-tool, 5-star. Yeah, they used to be Chain, South Georgia. I mean, I keep thinking of Skylar Meade, but he's going on to bigger and better things in Columbia, South Carolina, right?
It's not Skylar Meade.
Georgia Tech. Who would you love at Georgia Tech? Craig Gibson.
Maybe.
I knew it.
I sent him up the road.
You know how many times? I mean, this is speculation. I think he tried to get that job, or he'd been wanting to get that job like twice. When Danny Hall was like going through, he tried to get Georgia too.
Yeah, I remember he interviewed for the Georgia job.
Yeah,
Didn't
he
get it.
interviewed for Georgia. He interviewed for Georgia, and he interviewed for Clemson, maybe.
Well, no, it was Auburn, wasn't it? Before
Was it Auburn or
it
Clemson?
was
I remember it was one of those two.
Liberty, Auburn. There was like a few. I think I don't know. It's besides the point. Yeah, it'd be cool, but Mercer would need to like make a College World Series run this year for that to happen.
That guy's got a
Well, yeah.
lifetime contract to make him. He's not going anywhere.
He's got the best job in the world.
But yeah,
Anyways.
Jay Grandy guy probably going to be the next head coach of Georgia Tech.
Congratulations.
I love it.
What else do you guys want to talk about?
I think we talk about the weekend series, man. We've got some
Yeah,
we got some stacked sets. Which one are you guys most excited for?
Probably like for a contender versus pretender series, or Oregon State hosting UC Irvine. And when I say pretender, I don't mean like not a good team, but championship caliber team. Because
Yeah.
both of these, I picture them both in Omaha, but the winner of the series would definitely elevate themselves above the other. So I think
Doesn't
this is a big one to keep an eye on.
Instead of contender pretender, to me, it feels like if Oregon State wants to be a national host site, they have to have this weekend in their back pocket. And if Irvine wants to remain in the regional host conversation, man, does this go a long way.
Nail on the head.
Right.
Yeah.
Nail on the head. That's exactly what was on with State this weekend. But
Yeah.
Guy, I have a feeling that on paper, Oregon State is so good.
Yeah.
Like I keep seeing these things that are staring me in the face. Hey, this team's not that good. On paper, they're elite, but I keep getting this feeling that they're not that good.
I
They're
would
just not
honestly
good.
argue the opposite.
Yeah.
When I watch them play, I think they're amazing, but on paper, they're not as good.
No, just results based. Watching them play on paper for me is the same thing. You see how good they are, but it's just not enough wins.
Oh,
Like they're
okay.
not dominating
Definitions are
in
different.
wins
Okay.
and losses.
Yeah, definitions are
that
different.
feeling?
But every time I watch them play with my eyes, I'm like, wow, this team has some freaking All-Americans and some superstars.
They're loaded.
Yeah, it's a top 20 pitching staff. They've been hitting it well. But they lost the last road series that they just had at Nebraska. So bounce back weekend for the Beavs.
Not an easy series to win.
No, not at all. Irvine's been sticking it in the Big West so far this season. Very, very impressively. And it's masked some pitching questions that I at least had, or maybe they had too, because they had jumbled up their rotation on the weekend, but it hasn't mattered. I'm on the Anteaters in this one.
Yeah,
I like UC Irvine here.
me too.
Wait, are we? We're not
I
doing a
spit at Oregon State.
Chill out.
Are we doing a weekend series pick 'em?
No, we're gonna
Are we
get
doing
there later. We're gonna talk about some other series first.
Oh, I didn't know we were not.
It's fair.
Ben, this is what I was trying to say earlier about Oregon State. They've won a lot of games, but their big games, like Oklahoma, they lost. Their one game against Auburn, they lost. So it's like I wish they would have won some of the marquee games in the tournaments earlier in the year because they're beating teams that they should beat, but they just don't have any like, whoa, that's a big win yet.
That's fair. Our definitions were off. My definition was like on paper, like stats and stuff and scores, but eyeball test. So
on paper they're loaded. Eyeball tests are loaded. They haven't translated into any big wins yet, and that's just what happened. They tried to schedule not having a conference. They tried to schedule hard, but Virginia maybe they'll come back and become an elite team. That would become a big win, but yeah. What did we leave any big series off this weekend that we didn't pick? Wake Forest, Florida State. I mean, Wake. They need to turn that one around.
I'm going to this weekend at least one game between the first place team in the MAC and the second place team in the MAC, And based off of
Dude,
some
they're tied
pre-show
for first.
and based off of some pre-show conversation, I think we have an Uber Eats potential bet here.
We do, and I hope Jack is on my side because these two guys at the bottom of the screen were pissing me off, saying that.
So I'm going to head down I-75 for a battle between 1 and 2, or maybe even tied for first in both of them. Bowling Green and Miami, Ohio. Go ahead, Ben.
Miami, Ohio is not even the second best team in the conference. What are we doing?
I agree with
Well,
Dimitri.
I mean, if we're going off that logic, then Kent State is the best team in the conference because they beat Bowling Green 2 out of 3 pretty easily.
I think Kent State is better than Miami, Ohio.
No way. Miami, Ohio has not lost a weekend series in conference this year. Sorry about it.
Bro, they played like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Well, anyways, all right. So pre-show, we were yelling at each other because we do care about the MAC lives. They matter.
They very
And
much
usually
do.
those teams are fun to root for in the postseason. Like throw back to those Central Michigan teams back in 19 and 21 in those years. They always the conference always has these flamethrowers that step up and who was the representative last year? Because I think they went to Oregon, right? Did
Who?
Kent State win the conference last year and go to Oregon's regional?
Didn't Nichols go? No, we just talked about it.
Nichols was the 3 seed in
Yeah,
Corvallis.
No, Nichols with the 3 seed at Oregon State. Is that what you just said, Noah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Who won the MAC last year? I'm pretty sure they made some noise in the tournament.
It was.
I'll tell you right now, Kent State baseball wiki.
I'm pulling it up.
Well, I don't know if Kent even won it. I'm just going to do this.
I'll tell you what, though, as you guys are talking about the
it was Western. Western went to Kentucky and made some noise.
I do remember that. They played it like a weird game. It was like a football score that first game. That was fun. I remember that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, you guys sleeping on Miami of Ohio. First and foremost, their logo is quite literally the Marucci symbol. I have no idea if they are represented by Marucci, but it feels like a total miss of a branding deal if they're not. Sweet unis, beautiful pennies. And they also have Evan Applewick, who's got 12 home runs. Ty Batusich, who's the reigning MAC player of the week. I think it was he had a couple home runs, but he had 15 RBIs in a week, which is insane because I don't know if I had 15 RBIs in most seasons during a 6-year tenure. They're good. They're really good. So, Ben, I am going to ride with you. I don't know if we want to go double Uber Eats challenge on this beast, but I'll be hungry Sunday night if you guys want to get me some Taco Bell or Panda Express or something during our pod.
Yeah,
I'm not putting my hard-earned money on fucking Bowling Green. That's just
we'd have some fun, but no, seriously,
I'm in.
You know what, Dimitri, you're missing the opportunity here. I know that we want to get back to this. Never in the history of humanity, we get to be the first at something. Never in the history of humanity has someone lost a wager in Italy on a MAC baseball game. Never. No, that's never happened ever, or vice versa.
I beg to differ. I probably lost a MAC team bet in regionals because I bet at regionals every year.
Well, that's not what I said. I said on a Uber Eats challenge.
All right. Well, I'll circle back on this one.
Yeah. Has anybody in Italy ever Ubered?
I have an idea. I think Miami of Ohio should announce a partnership if they don't already have one with Marucci and break out metal torpedo bat.
Be sick.
Would be sweet. Yeah, the torpedo bat.
LSU is going to be the first team to do that, though. I wouldn't.
1,000%. When I hear torpedo bats, I think LSU baseball somehow.
It's a good.
You don't think Tennessee?
No,
it's right
torpedo
there.
bats. I'm changing the baseball game that we all love. Don't mess with the bats. Leave the bats alone.
No, Ben, don't you dare mess with the narrative. Because if this had happened anywhere outside of the state of New York, everyone would have been poo-pooing this. But yes, they're allowed to reinvent the sport. Fucking losers.
Hey, don't change my baseball.
Don't do it.
You guys want to know a massive series in the ACC that I think is really important? In Carolina and Duke. It's not on our pick'em. It's always the big series. Duke is kind of rebounding. Carolina kind of just floating, treading above water kind of thing. It's a big
Carolina's
series.
trying to rebound, and they've won back-to-back series, 2 out of 3.
They're
They
trying-
should have
they're like-
swept one of those two, but Duke is playing way better base. Duke and Virginia look like preseason predicted Duke and Virginia.
Yeah. Well, Virginia's just coming off of 1 week. At least Duke is like starting to string a bunch of like weekend series in the conference play together. Them shuffling out around their weekend rotation, which I know Noah will be able to speak better to. But Owen Prosh on Friday again, Noah. Yeah, he's fun, man. Like, and they're doing it differently. Where like he's been a pretty much a lefty specialist his entire career. Now he gets the nod on Fridays as almost like a starter, like type role. I know that sounds stupid, but like how Tampa's done. And just get you one time through, and then they go Johnny Holstaff in the pen. But he's been really good. Like, I'm curious to see if they extend the leash. Because you're right. Now, this is a contender-pretender. Like, is North Carolina a bona fide top 5, top 10 team like we all saw at the beginning of the year? Like, their hot, cold, hot theory is gone a little bit too quickly for my liking. Whereas Duke starts off cold as hell. Now they're turning into the team that we expected. So to your point, Dim, I don't know. I'm excited. I just interviewed Ben Miller. He's a beast. Like, he's a beast leading the ACC in home runs right now. He's got the swagger and the aura of an old guy that, like, when you talk to him, I don't bring up a lot of baseball questions in his interviews, but I'm like, did you feel it at all? He's like, no, I'm 24 years old. Like, we're good. Like, we know what we have. We're good. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, that rocks.
Is Clemson on upset? Clemson on upset alert traveling out to Cal?
Cal is the weirdest
Cal's
team in the
been
world
feisty.
to me.
The weirdest team, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted
like
to
Cal loses
add on
3 out of 4 to didn't they lose 3 out of 4 to was it Miami, Ohio? Was that who I was looking at earlier?
No, they lost 3 out of 4
It was
to
Santa Clara.
Santa
It was
Clara.
Santa Clara. That's who it was. But then they go and win weekend series in the ACC. I can't put my finger on the pulse there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a potential upset alert. Anyway, that's all I've got.
Are we picking a potential upset alert? Because I'm down with
I
that.
was just trying to bring up some other theory before we got into our weekend pick 'em.
Well, let's do this. Let's all pick a top 25 team this weekend that is on upset alert.
All right.
Yeah, my team that I picked last week, Purdue, got swept by UCLA. So you guys can go first here.
Hands up.
I took Virginia against somebody, right?
You took
Stanford.
Virginia against
Stanford, yeah.
And I took hand up. I was wrong. I thought Louisville was going to lose to was it Cal? I think it was Cal. No.
I think the obvious pick here is Florida beating Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Need it.
Florida at home.
Yep, it was Cal. Florida beating Vandy. I don't think that's an upset. I mean, it is by ranking, but
yeah.
I'll
tell you another one. The obvious one to me is Kentucky over Ole Miss. Like, Ole Miss is playing really good baseball. Kentucky coming off a massive weekend series where they had to have it. Now they're back at home. The weather is warming up. I like Coach Mingione and what they did with their like complete roster overhaul. If you guys don't know the Big Biscuit yet, buckle up. He is must-watch television, but he rakes in the middle of that lineup. I like them over Ole Miss this weekend. I would be willing to venture our hypothetical fortune teller that'd be pretty juicy of odds too.
Hey, I think LSU's got their biggest test. Well, their road series at Texas, obviously their biggest test of the year, but from a pitching standpoint, this is going to be the best rotation they faced all year in Oklahoma coming to town. I think Oklahoma could upset them at the box.
That's
it's
out
not
of
at the box. It's at Oklahoma.
you.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry. That's another tough road series for the Tiger.
I am going to take you to a series that at the beginning of the year, a lot of people may have been circling this one as possibly a road team that was live this weekend. Is this finally the weekend that A&M gets it going? You go into Knoxville. They're not going to be sleepwalking through this one, right? It's the number 1 team in the nation. The team that you lost the national championship to last year. The team that you lost the Natty to last year. The pitching's been totally fine. And
I will
they were putting up runs against
guarantee.
Kentucky.
I will guarantee that Texas A&M does not win that series in Knoxville.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem, Rizcon. You said it
either.
Now it's real. I would also like to mention that I will actually have flops on the ground in Knoxville this weekend. So I will let the Ags know before first pitch that there is a pissy pants that is on the line for this one.
I will
There's not a lot. Oh, go ahead, Dimitri. Go ahead.
Guarantee that Texas A&M will not win that series in Knoxville.
I will guarantee you that this will 100% be clipped if they do.
There's not a lot in this world that I know. There's one thing in this world I do know, and it's the weirdness of college baseball. If it doesn't matter what the records are, when it comes to SEC play, crazy stuff like this happens all the time. And could just find their Monstar superpower from Space Jam for one weekend. Really, not even one weekend, just 2 games. Yeah. Like they could just figure it out for 2 games, and Tennessee can play perfect, but they'll still lose. That is a huge possibility that A&M wins this weekend.
All the Aggies need is just a little bit extra added motivation.
Well, good.
They don't care what I say.
Not only is it going to be you pissing your pants, but it's going to be all those chicken shit losers out there talking about how, they can't win. And this league is hard to win in. So everybody that's been talking and keeping receipts about what's been going on, at the end of the day, this boils down to 18 to 23-year-olds that have done it in this conference before, struggling at the plate. Newsflash, it's really hard to hit 95 plus with movement and a lot of off-speed pitches. So if these guys out here want to keep taking shots at a first-year head coach that's dipping his toes in the water, like he's going to figure it out, man. He's done it for a really long time. I'm stoked to see Michael Early this weekend. I'm stoked to see the Ags. I love it. More fuel on the fire for him because I would love to see them start to prove some doubters wrong. It'd be mad.
God, you guys are making me so nervous now. I'm already nervous.
Yeah.
I'm already so nervous.
We didn't even pressure you into saying that.
I know. I came out of
No, it's because I was tired of hearing Noah talk about how the Aggies have a chance in Knoxville. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put my money where my mouth is.
I'll tell you this: they have a much better chance of beating Tennessee 2 out of 3 on the road than Missouri does Arkansas.
Definitely.
All right. We're comparing Missouri and Texas A&M. How far they've fallen?
There's like 4 or 5 1-8 teams in the SEC. It's not just Texas A&M.
That's my point. This is about the league, right? Like I told you guys, I talked to Coach Vitello last week in South Carolina. Like to sweep on the road is insane in this conference. Like anybody can get anybody at any given time. A&M is 1-8 with a top 10 ERA in college baseball right now.
Yeah,
Ryan Prager has shoved, right? Like this is nothing to do with coaching to me, right? Like your head coach, who was the hitting coach of a team that was arguably one of the best offenses of all time. Like it's not because he has spent less time with his offense. It's because these guys have put such an immense amount of pressure on themselves. And we have all been in those situations. When it snowballs, like it ain't about coaching. It's about the Jimmies and Joes and ain't the X's and O's. When you get in the box, it is the most team sport on the planet. But at the end of the day, you boil it down, it's individualistic as hell. On an island. And they just haven't gotten it done.
For the most part, Prager is shoved. His first rough outing was last weekend against Kentucky, and I loved how the lineup was able to have his back because that had not been the case the entire year. I think that was the one game that they won last weekend. So
Kentucky's doing a really good job. Like Kentucky's a bad matchup for Ryan Prager because they don't try to get too big in the box, and like they take what they're given. And Prager's a guy that nibbles around the zone and locates really well. Like that fits right to Kentucky's strength. So it didn't surprise me that Kentucky hit him around a little bit. But anyways, let's get into the weekend series pick'em, and then we'll get off the show here. We have Georgia at Texas, biggest series of the season so far, in my opinion. UC Irvine, Oregon State, Arizona State, Western Kentucky, Dallas Baptist, Alabama, Auburn, Northeastern Campbell. Noah Beanick, you're hitting leadoff the whole time. So you go whatever series you want to go to first.
I'm going to take you to the desert.
Timeout.
rivalry. Did you say timeout?
Yeah. This is my second timeout of the podcast. Do we want to give the listeners an update on our records or anything?
Nope. I think we're good.
Dimitri's had a
Are
really
you
good
sure
year.
about that? Are you sure?
Dimitri's got a better record than I do. I have one more loss than Dimitri. I know that.
You're damn right. I have one more, and I'm proud of it.
You should be. You're doing really well.
Ben, how sure are you?
I'm good. I don't think we need to talk about it.
Right? Then Noah, the floor is yours.
All right. Jack, did you want to mention a record or two here?
I don't care. I don't even know what I am. Am I doing good or bad?
What are we
Dimitri's
doing?
looking.
I couldn't even kind of guess. While Dimitri's looking, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that for those at home watching, if our listeners can't tell that I'm dressed like a douchebag today. It's Bring Your Douchebag to Podcast Day. I'm wearing a windbreaker vest, sporting the Houston Astros, who are currently getting their tails kicked in by the San Francisco Giants. Been a rough start to the season offensively for our Astros, Benny Boy, but kind of like our pick'em skills, I think we have to have a good showing today in the pick'em. That way our big league team will get back on track.
Yeah,
They're an embarrassment, dude. They've some guy named Ethan Rupp, or is it Ethan Rupp? Who is it? Landon Rupp.
Landon Rupp, yeah.
He has 4 strikeouts, 4 outs.
Yeah.
First 4 batters, all strikeouts.
you want to bring up the MLB storylines. I didn't mention this earlier during the storylines episode or part of the pod, but Tarek Skubal of Seattle U
Great.
bought a bunch of tickets for the team, the program, to go and watch his start today against the Mariners. Our second baseman made an error, and the Tigers are down 2-0. So,
second baseman hates college baseball, just like Dimitri.
So, what series are we starting here with?
I
Mr.
thought you were
B?
tallying up records and whatnot.
That's it.
It looked like you were scrolling a screen.
Nope.
Okay. I'm taking you guys to the desert. Actually, the home state of Tarek Skubal, for what it's worth. He trains in the winter at Phoenix Municipal, right? That's the stadium name here for the Sun Devils. Great series. And I'm going to start off with this. Unfortunately, both teams offensively not 100%. We're missing Brendan Summerhill of Arizona. We're missing Kian Vu of Arizona State, 2 of the better bats coming into this series. So,
Did Vu get hurt last night?
what'd you say?
Did Vu get hurt last night?
Just recently, maybe last weekend.
He played last night.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a hamstring or something, so I wasn't sure when he was coming
He
back.
played. I watched the game. They put up like 8 runs in the first 2 innings against Fullerton. I thought he was playing.
Okay. That's news to me.
Okay.
That's good
I'll
news.
look it up.
Dan.
I'll look it up.
That's good
You
news.
go ahead.
So Arizona just dropped a weekend that I don't think many people thought they were going to against Baylor, and they did that at home at the Juice Box. I like the Wildcats a little bit more than the Sun Devils this year. Just I feel like I can bank on their pitching depth into the weekend a little bit more than the Sun Devils. I like Colin McKinney not going up against his former program on Friday that lit him up in Baylor last weekend. And I love Smith Bailey on Sundays. I like Arizona to win this series here.
Arizona. Wow.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and there's two notes that I came prepared with. One, I was right. Mr. Vu, he did play last night, got an RBI single, and so he's back, not hurt. Do you guys know what Arizona State is doing on Friday night as a promotion?
No.
I love
They're
this.
doing the 999 challenge.
No way.
The whole stadium.
How? I didn't know you'll die.
Hey, shout out.
Get ready. The ultimate challenge at Mooney. Join ASU Baseball on Friday for the 999 challenge. Can you eat 9 hot dogs, drink 9 sodas, and 9 thrilling innings? Could you imagine these Arizona State fraternities and sororities and the environment that they would have with a 999 challenge, the whole stadium? Give me the Sun Devils to win the series, led by Brandon Compton. He will hit 3 homers this weekend.
Ooh.
Give me the Sun Devils and slam it, write it down in Sharpie. By the way, Brendan Summerhill does rake for Arizona. I love his swing. He's a really cool player to watch. But I don't give a shit about that. The 9-9 challenge takes us to the promised land. Sun Devils in 3.
Yeah, I know that the graphic is going to say all three of us take it, but I think Noah's logic is really sound. I too am going to take Arizona State. Matt King, Big 12 newcomer of the week.
What high school did he go to?
I don't know. I don't even.
You don't know what high school Matt King went to?
What did he go to? Kingwood?
Kingwood Park, baby.
Did he really? He was a Kingwood.
Yeah, he went to my high school.
With that
he laid the
last
foundation
name,
so Matt King could run.
Did Papa Upton umpire any games of his?
I don't think so.
Did he got any no scouting report for us?
I think he has every team record. I didn't hold any records, but I think he broke all of them that I should have held.
So Kien Vu had an ankle injury, I believe, and he was out from March 14th to April 1st. Bloomquist wanted him back for the Arizona series, according to a beat reporter on Twitter.
Oh boy, Bloomquist.
Yeah, so good news there because he is a stud and he's also on my fantasy team. I love that kid. But also,
does that change your pick?
No, I still like Arizona. They're still my natty. They were my preseason team to win the national championship. I'm not off of that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Coastal Carolina. Their concessions free for football. So I'm hoping that's all athletic.
This is the college baseball podcast.
I know. I'm just saying we brought up the 999 challenge. So shout out to Coastal for doing that with their concession stand. Let's go to the biggest weekend series in the Conference USA this year.
Yeah.
Western Kentucky, Dallas Baptist. The Hilltoppers' hot streak just came to an end in the midweek. Vanderbilt, unfortunately, put some water on that fire with a walk-off last night, which shout out to the kid that robbed the potential home run.
He's Ryan Weidman. Weidman is probably a heavy contender for mid-major player of the year.
Yeah.
Kid's a star.
I am not going to fade the facility here. Dallas Baptist has been the titan of both the Missouri Valley, the Conference USA in recent years. I'm going to need to see it to believe it with Western Kentucky. I really love the story this season, but I'm going to take the Pats and that weekend rotation and some Dallas Bombers that they've brought back from last year as well. Give me DBU to win the series.
I love it, Noah. I think I was in diapers the last time Dallas Baptist lost a home series, so give me the Patriots.
My heart wants to pick Western Kentucky. My brain is taking Dallas Baptist. And we're fighting. And I still to this second don't know who I want to pick. I want to pick Western Kentucky for the story because how often did Western Kentucky do it? And we've been on them since preseason, since January. We thought this team was good. So Western Kentucky, you might have my heart, but son of a bitch, give me the Dallas Bombers. DBU, don't fade the facility.
Western Kentucky admin, go ahead and get ready to clip this. Your heart said one thing. Your brain said another. My balls say the Hilltoppers. Give me Western Kentucky in 2. This is about need. You see that RPI. You need this one. They have to have this one. And I'm hoping if you guys can all put a little pressure on Conference USA that I could potentially be on the call for that conference tournament because to me, this is a future conference championship game. I'll take Western and I'll take him on Friday and Sunday. Boom.
I love it. You did what I couldn't do because your balls are bigger than mine. That's just what it comes down to.
Balls are bigger than Dimitri's brain. Jack, I can send you a phone number. I know the commissioner of Conference USA Baseball. Met with him in Dallas. Great guy.
Need it. They reached out after I did the Charlotte stuff, and I need it. I want it. It would be so much fun. Oh,
yep. I will hook you guys up. He's a great dude.
You're going to the Big West tournament.
That's true. Well, if they'll put me on the call, I'll go anywhere.
They're going to the Big West tournament.
Hey, I'm Jeff the Longchamps, and I'm here at the Summit League
Champs.
Championship.
Yeah, dude, I do it. I do. Welcome to the pre-qualifiers, just to get the opportunity to play in the first round of
I
the
know it. Next one.
League World Series. That's a long time. Going live from an iPad today. So excited and stoked to have you along for the call.
All right, I'm going out on a limb here this weekend in this series pick'em because I've brought to light the amount of home teams that typically win in the weekend series pick'em each and every single season. There's usually 1 or 2 weeks that I really get off the train tracks with the home teams, and this is going to be one of them. I already kind of leaked one of my other picks. We'll get to that series a little bit later. I'm going to take you to Northeastern in Campbell. The Huskies heading down to Buies Creek. The top 5 pitchers in ERA top 6 most used pitchers for the Huskies this season all have an ERA sub 3.5. The one guy in the top 6 that does not is Avon Cabral, who's maybe their most TMZ name. Like, he's been there in their rotation now, his 3rd year there. He's more of a pitch to contact. We're going to get out to defense guy. But he's got 35 Ks this season, only 9 walks. He's got a 4.03 ERA. So I'm painting him to be like their worst pitcher, but he's still been pretty dang good in that weekend rotation. And you look at last year, like the reasons, I guess, why Northeastern didn't live up to a lot of people's expectations is MLB talents didn't live up to their potential. Cam Maldonado so far this season, batting .367 with an 1185 OPS, and he's 7 stolen bases so far. He's got speed to burn on the base pass. I think that this team has enough offensively to go down, win the series against Campbell, because I think this is going to be a low-scoring series. I'm going to take Northeastern here.
That's very cute, Noah. Hey, listen, the guys in Campbell don't care about anything you just said.
I know.
They will probably listen to this. They're big listeners of the show, and that's just going to fire them up even more. I hope they break out the nobody's jersey Friday. They win, they break them out again Saturday, and then on Sunday they break them out again. I'm projecting a sweep here from Campbell. I think Campbell has turned a corner. They have their guys in place, and there is nothing more intimidating from a team coming from the Northeast than going down to Buies Creek, North Carolina, in the middle of nowhere, and playing in front of fans that really don't care what your feelings say. So give me Campbell. The Camels are probably going to win the CAA this year because every team we think is good is turned bad. So there's that.
So, according to your logic, Campbell's about to turn to shit too. So give me the Huskies. Give me Northeastern. They're 18-5 since coming back to the mainland from Hawaii. No, sorry. Take that back. They had one bad weekend all year, that weekend against Hawaii. They went 1-3 on the weekend, but they were in every game. They were in almost every game. They had a starting pitcher go 10 innings for, my God, and they lost that game. Give me the Huskies. They're the better team. Campbell's been great. They're getting better with the new coaching staff, new era in Buies Creek, but it's not time yet. Give me the Huskies.
Yeah, I've pissed off, to Ben's point. They really don't care. I pissed off a lot of Campbell fans. I don't really know what I did, except for work for their arch rival in the CAA now. I'm a big fan of this program, right? Adam Weiss, who's on their staff, he was actually my coach when I was like 20 years old, playing like summer collegiate baseball. Like he was a part of that program. He played there, and what they've done, like a lot of different schools, right? Like we'll talk about Irvine in a bit, like they've hired their own, right? So just because Justin Hare leaves doesn't mean that the guys left don't understand what it means to rep that jersey and that brand. I think too, right? Last year, first year in the CAA was a little bit of an adjustment. They're studs on the mountain. Jake Murray, who's like a grad guy for them on the weekend, he's like a 53 strike. I think he's like, I can't remember. I remember doing the math last week. He may have had a couple more. He's like a 50-plus strikeout guy, single-digit walk guy. He's really good on the weekend for him. With that being said, to Noah's point, Cam Maldonado, after a sophomore slump last year, he's been spectacular. And what a lot of people don't realize is that a guy like Alex Lane, who plays first base for him, who was like the 1B to Tanner Thatch's 1A has really struggled at the plate, quite frankly. So they've gotten a ton of productivity from a guy like Harrison Feinberg, who plays the other corner spot next to Maldonado. I'll take Northeastern. And I do think that this is going to be a rubber match. I think Campbell's really talented. But what we thought was going to be like UNC Wilmington and College of Charleston, these two schools go, don't forget about us, dumbasses. Like, we have been like bona fide tradition programs the last decade. Like, who the hell do you think you are? To Ben, your point about the Southland, the CAA, to me, when you look at Northeastern Campbell, CFC, Wilmington, haven't even talked about Delaware, who's been great this year. This is a multiple bid league, but like the Southland, we're going to find out if last year CFC really got screwed. Because if the Southland really does get two teams in this year, the CAA should have a gigantic hissy fit. Because obviously, although the overall record for Campbell doesn't look great right now, this is a multiple bid league because it's really deep. Whether you're looking at Northeastern or Wilmington and College Charleston when they're at their best, we just got to shed some more light on the CAA because there's a lot of studs in there.
I kept my Flow Sports subscription because of this series. Not really. I just keep getting the answer.
You're saying that those Campbell fans owe you $38 if they lose this series.
Yeah, and you know what? There are some crazy enough Campbell fans that would probably Venmo me $38 and be like, "Hey, thanks for watching."
Just keep watching, boys.
These guys love baseball. All right, well, I'll ride or die with Campbell. You guys are idiots.
Don't worry, Campbell fans will let us know this week.
All right, we've got another rivalry.
Dimitri, wait, real quick, Dimitri. If Campbell wins this series, are we going back to play that music? The tweet?
We will play that damn song.
Play that damn song. All right, cool.
We will play that damn song if the Campbell. What if it's going to be 4 straight series wins for them?
Yeah, no, 5.
And it's 5, and most of them are quality. So, yep, we're playing that damn song again.
All right, deal.
We've got another rivalry series. This one comes in the SEC. The Iron Bowl on the gridiron, but on the diamond, it's just 2 quality teams this season. Alabama and Auburn. Tigers coming in they're limping into this one a little bit. They got swept down in Athens. Then they lost the midweek to UAB. They actually got swept by the Blazers this year as well in their midweeks. I like Alabama. Does anybody know about Riley Quick? Even still, I'm going to take the Crimson Tide. Their offense just been undeniable this year. And I don't love Saturday, Sunday options so far from Auburn beginning games. That's been their biggest, question mark for me is when I compare Alabama's offense, another red hot offense is Georgia's. And what Georgia just did to Auburn on Saturday, Sunday in game 2 and game 3, I kind of just see Alabama being able to do the same thing. I think the Crimson Tide roll in the Plainsmen and they take the series here.
Okay. So does anybody else – I think you're probably in one of 2 different boats. Do you think that Alabama is going to have the same road struggles that they've had in recent years? And 2, do you think Auburn is better than what their SEC record is? I think that's going to help me make a decision here.
Well,
because
my
brain, I'm going to use your quote, Dimitri. My brain is telling me Alabama is a tier 1 SEC team, which in my opinion is a top 5 team. They proved it against Texas A&M where they swept them on the road. They proved it against Tennessee where they lose 2 out of 3, but competed their balls off. And then also last weekend against Oklahoma in a super regional type environment at home, they pull off the series win. But my gut is keep on telling me this Alabama team does the same thing every year where road series in the SEC, they don't play great. Do they finally make the jump of winning a big rivalry series on the road? And I'm in the party of thinking Auburn is still better than what their record says. You go up and down their lineup and you're like, man, these guys are talented. They have the ability to put up double-digit runs wherever. And we know with the new stadium renovations, this place is going to be rocking. So I think I'm going to go with my gut here and take Auburn and say that maybe Alabama finds a little bit of humbling after their unbelievable start this year. And I think you're going to kind of see these two teams be at the end of the season around the same mark, a few games above 500 in SEC play.
I just wanted to point one thing out to you. Alabama did win 2 out of 3 on the road at Texas A&M. So they do have a road SEC series
No,
win.
they swept A&M.
Or sorry, swept A&M on the road. Point is, it was on the road. So, and they look dominant doing it. So I think this team is better than they've ever been. I think it's the best Alabama team they've had since John Parker Wilson and Josh Rutledge won that regional in Athens and Atlanta. Those are for the OG college baseball fan.
Yeah,
that Alabama squad was electric. That was 2000. That was 2010 actually when they beat Georgia Tech, a loaded Georgia Tech team that year. But anyway, point is, this Alabama team is legit. What they did to Malachi Witherspoon this past weekend against Oklahoma showed me. This guy was 95, 96 all game, and they were all over him. They were all over him like it was nothing. This lineup is legit. It's for real. Give me the Crimson Tide on the road in Auburn, Alabama.
Wait, Jack, before you go, can I make a quick point?
Yeah.
Is Alabama really – and look, this is a genuine question. There's no preconceived notion here. Is Alabama really good, or have they been a little lucky? Because I'm looking at their schedule right now, and I'm going through, and okay, great, you sweep Bradley and Alabama State and whatever. That game against Ohio State, they had to make a 10-run comeback. They hit a walk-off homer in Jacksonville. You scroll down a little further. You get a 2-run win against Troy at home. Great. You lose one to Presbyterian, and then you win a 2-run game, two 2-run games at A&M, a 1-run game in extras in the midweek against South Alabama. You win a 1-run game against North Alabama in the midweek. And then last weekend, those games could have bounced either way against Oklahoma. Like, you win 2 out of 3, but all 3 games were tight. And then yesterday they play Samford and like almost blew a 7-run lead to Samford. They win by 2 runs, but they had a 7 spot in the 7th. So it's like, does Alabama's luck change a little bit, and maybe they get cold and they fit that hot theory?
I don't think that we really want to play the comparison.
Funny how you didn't bring up anything about the Tennessee weekend where they could have easily won that series.
Yeah, I don't think we want to play the compare schedules game between Alabama and Auburn.
Gotten swept by Tennessee.
Right, but that's baseball. They could have won that series too.
Auburn
has
that.
Give me Rammer Jammer, Yellowhammer, Roll Damn Tide. That's it, Jack. Make your pick.
I've talked about this team too much this year. I'm such a believer, Ben. I'm almost. This would be my weekend series. Like, this would be my survivor. I think they sweep. I think they're that good. I think they're that much better. I think that this team is different. And we joked about this, like, every time we talk about A&M, like, oh, how many times are you going to be unlucky? Well, in this damn sport, I'd rather be lucky than good. And when I got the guy that's second in home runs, and I got the guy that's first in RBIs, with 3 dudes hitting over 400 in a weekend rotation that might have 2 potential guys in the first 3 rounds. Roll damn Tide.
I mean, I would love for somebody to just tell me where the huge separation between these two teams is.
Their pitching is better. Their lineup
Auburn
is
has
better. What do you
2 weekend series. Like, they've won 2 out of 3 weekend series, just like Alabama. They win 2 against Vanderbilt and 2 out of 3 against Kentucky. They get swept at Georgia, and everybody thinks they're terrible.
I would tell you that the biggest difference
They've also gotten swept by UAB, lost to Holy Cross, lost to Old Dominion.
Well, they also beat Ohio State 13-0 on Friday night in a tournament where Alabama was down 11-0
on a Sunday.
Yeah, and then had the biggest come from behind victory in school's history. All right, he's playing heel. I see what he's doing. I got it. I got the bit. He's just playing the game.
I mean, dude,
caught it too late. Damn.
Alabama's schedule has been far more superior in the SEC than Auburn so far.
He's just playing the game. On to the next one.
Ben is just rage baiting. You're rage baiting. You're rage baiting. You're engagement farming on the podcast. You're engaging.
Far more superior.
No, he's not. He's definitely not clickbait.
Played a 1-8 SEC team.
We'll talk about it on Sunday night.
Oh, I can't wait until Auburn wins this series. I think that both teams' luck's about to change.
Ben,
All
Uber
right.
Eats.
Noah, next series.
Ben, Uber Eats bet.
Ben's gonna
I better
have
get
two
good
Uber Eats
odds.
bet on Sunday.
Huh? Ben, Uber Eats bet.
Well, okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's do it. I would love tropical smoothie on Sunday night.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Ben's got two Uber Eats bets on Sunday.
We're
night.
at hour 15. Speed this shit up. Let's go.
Hey, we're having fun,
That's
damn it.
your fault.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah, we were gonna begin the weekend picking
Bob
up 30
Saget.
minutes.
Noah tried to start the weekend series picking up 30 minutes and you yelled at him.
I know.
Bob Saget.
All right, Eaters and Beavers. I already gave my pick at about the 33-minute mark of this series. And my handicap was Oregon State, just like Auburn, kind of limping into this one, I think. And UC Irvine, albeit I've had a few questions about their rotation, and maybe their staff has too. They jumbled up that weekend rotation, but the offense has been raking. And I think the Eaters are going to show up for the biggest series they have on the schedule for the entire year. Give me UC Irvine.
I'm doing this for the bit and the bit only. Los Beeves, please come after me because I'm taking the Anteaters. Gotta have it. The Eaters have got to have this series to show the world that they are a College World Series contender. Watched the game last night. They were hitting balls to the moon against it wasn't Fullerton. It was a different, I forget who it was. They were playing somebody and just made them look like kids pitching to them. And they almost blew the lead, actually. The bullpen did not look great for the Irvine Anteaters, but I was assuming that they were saving their best bullpen for this weekend. Irvine's offense, too good. Los Beeves, come get me.
Do it.
I bought a hat from you, Los Beeves. You can't get me too hard, all right? I sent you $40 in Venmo.
Ben, they boat raced San Diego, by the way.
That's who it was, San Diego.
So you took Irvine. Noah, what was your reasoning again?
The offense. The offense has been way better than I expected for the Eaters, and it's kind of masked some pitching questions. I wouldn't even say they're concerns anymore because they just have raked over them. I think this is your Big West Georgia in simpler terms. Oregon State, it could be a huge bounce back weekend for them, but I think that this is your circle it weekend series for the Anteaters from the beginning of the year. They say, we win this series, we have our destiny, we control it in hosting a regional in Irvine.
Here's where I have a lot of trouble. If Oregon State would have won that series against Nebraska last weekend, I would have slammed the Eaters. I would have been Irvine winning it. But does Oregon State lose back-to-back series? That's the question. Are they good enough to not lose back-to-back series? That's where I am confused and I'm struggling here.
It's a big question.
You know what? Screw it. Give me the Eaters. I'll ride or die with them. I will go down with them if they lose. I am okay with that.
Hey, Ben, you bought one hat. Let me put my ante in. I bought two hats. That was $90 to Los Beefs. Go ahead and get the brooms out. Eaters by freaking $1 million. Come and get us, big fella. Be the first one of the year. Let's ride.
Love it.
I
I
will say
second Uber Eats bet. What did I agree to? What was
Miami,
the other one?
Ohio taking
We're
down
riding that
Bowling
one
Green.
together.
Oh,
We're riding
yeah.
that one
I
together.
feel good.
And Dimitri's not even doing it because he's in dork, so we're fine.
But he's guaranteeing A&M won't win the series, which is also
insane. Refused to buy a $15 smoothie, but he's all about peeing his pants. When the team that lost by a run and came down to a crazy slide a year ago doesn't have a chance to win. Love it.
Final series of the weekend pick'em.
Yep.
Ben said it was the biggest series of the year to this date.
it is.
I thought LSU at Texas was bigger.
Nope, this one's bigger.
So Max Ballou out for the regular season, unfortunately. Fractured thumb. Adrian Rodriguez, Rylan Galvin have also missed some time lately for the Horns. But Will Gasparino He's been my guy from the first weekend when I saw him down in Arlington. He was raking then. He's got a red hot bat right now. I tweeted it out over the weekend. A lot of people I feel like are going to be on the dogs here. I'm on 4 road teams. Georgia's not one of them this weekend. Give me Texas. I can count on the 1-2 in this rotation of Jared Spencer and Luke Harrison. Georgia's figuring it out on the mound, but they're not there yet. Give me the horns. Hook them.
Noah, I love where your head's at. My college baseball brain goes, oh, Georgia's leading the country in home runs, and they are unbelievable offensively. Well, guess what? You've never met a field like this where it is a graveyard to all parts of the ballpark, and they are going to have 10 plus warning track flyouts. And Texas is going to continue to hit the ball in the gap and play to their strengths. We saw it against LSU. LSU gets them on Friday, but then Texas rebounds Saturday, Sunday. I am very confident in Texas winning this series at home. And the reason why I call it the biggest series to date is because we already know what LSU has. Like that was a fun series, entertaining series. I think if Georgia wins this series, it's like, oh, are they better than Arkansas? Are they better than Tennessee? Are they better than LSU? That's why I think it's the biggest series to date, because the winner of this series, you have to look at, should they be the number 1 team in the country over Tennessee or over Arkansas? That's why I love it. But give me the horns.
I think you guys already know my pick.
Oh,
You guys know my pick. I picked them in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
They win this series. They are 1 weekend closer for me to literally drag my nuts across every single hater that said I was stupid for making this pick.
I
Give
laughed
me
in your
the
face.
Georgia Bulldogs. I cannot wait for the day that they win the SEC regular season. I can retweet every single moron that called me a moron for picking them. Give me the dog. They are going to rake this weekend, and Max Wiener is going to have to come up with a new pitching program after this weekend.
The Riz God is confirmed a bookmarker on Twitter.
yeah. No,
Yep.
was that a huge surprise?
All right. The bid is over. I'm going to take Georgia because I picked them to win the SEC, and they need to win this series to have a shot. I think the series is going to come down to Sunday afternoon. This series going to the wire. I think it's going to be electric. Dish Falk's going to be packed. I would not be surprised if Texas won. To Ben's point, it's hard to hit bombs in that ballpark.
Yeah. You know what would be so much fun, too? We've got March Madness this weekend, right? Is the national championship on Sunday night?
Yeah, Final
Monday,
Four.
right?
It's Monday for the Natty.
Dude,
Saturdays to the Final Four.
How much fun would this be? I know these kids got to go to class on Monday. How awesome would it be to see college baseball go, you know what? We're not scared. Like ESPN, you want to take Major League Baseball and run? Fantastic. Let's flex Texas and Georgia to 7:00 Eastern time on Sunday night. Dude, how legendary would it be to see these two teams go at each other? Because to your point, Zabrowski, Robbie Burnett, both top 2, top 3 in home runs in the country. They're absolutely dynamite. Burnett, by the way, actually is second in HBPs too. I saw. Shout out to Dogpile Season. Does a great job of documenting those leaderboards. So like there's not only is this matchup like great name brand, but it's also an opportunity to like learn about some superstars before you fall in love with them in June. Like, that's
Jack,
why
there's
it's so much fun at Flex.
There's one hurdle about that idea though. The SEC has this curfew rule.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. I hope I'm going to be in Knoxville this weekend. Sunday's first pitch is at 3:00, so I don't know what time that makes the curfew, but I hope like hell it happens.
The Aggies take like a 8-inning win.
They just sit on it and they're like, man, what an incredible rule for our league to make sure that these kids can get home and go to class.
Yeah.
With all of that being said, hook 'em. No Max Ballou, no problem this weekend. The boys rally without him. And it was such a bummer. The kid was off to such a blistering start. I definitely jinxed him, by the way, when we did our Golden Spikes kind of revisit, and I subbed him out for Gavin Grahovic, and then he got hurt a week later. Like that'd feel a little bit like my fault. But I know there's some conflicting reports, but I hope he'll be back for postseason play, because it'd be great to see him finish his career off on the dime for the Longhorns. So I'll take Texas here.
Sweet. Well, that's everybody's picks, and that's the episode there. So
I wanna wrap up with two shout outs.
go
Wednesday
for it.
night, backyard brawl, Pitt and West Virginia. These two
Ooh.
schools hate each other. Friday night, Ohio State takes on Northwestern, who's rolling right now in the Big Ten.
Wait, what are they? Northwestern baseball? You just brought them up. You're a college baseball punter. You just brought Northwestern. You brought up
Rolling. Just took down Maryland last weekend.
easily, right?
And they're playing at Wrigley Field on Friday. Ohio State, Northwestern.
Yeah.
That is cool. That is cool stuff. Is it broadcasted? I'm sure it is, right?
Probably Big Ten Network or something, yeah.
Hey,
Cool.
Jack, I missed your. I think I messed up one of your picks. Arizona State, Western Kentucky, Northeastern, Alabama, Irvine, and
Texas. Yeah, I was with Noah. I took 4 road dogs this week as well. I saw the board pretty much the exact same, except I went Western and he went DBU.
Wait, you went Arizona State, right?
I went Arizona State as well. Yeah, my only 2 home teams were Arizona State and Texas.
Nice. All right. Well, that wraps up the show. We'll see you guys Sunday night, and enjoy some college baseball this weekend. And hopefully the Astros will start scoring some runs. My God, this is terrible. And the Braves are the same way. Just Major League Baseball is no fun. Get rid of the torpedo bats. Anyways, we'll see you guys Sunday night. Bye.